my polar bears. It's been more than a month, but in my defense, we're still technically in January. So just because I'm uploading this in the last few hours of January doesn't mean I didn't actually keep to my word of uploading every month at least. So today I got absolutely inspired by one of my favorite artists on YouTube, Drawing with Waffles. I absolutely adore her, and I have been watching her since like her 15th sketchbook video came out, and she's on her sketchbook number 24, 25, I believe. So let's just say I've been watching her for a while now. So she does this thing called well, it's basically the Draw This Again meme, except that she has done it every year, and I believe this was the 8th or 9th year she has drawn Rapunzel, and I became really really inspired by that. So I decided to start the trend on my own. So this is totally me stealing her idea, so I'm giving the total credit of like the video idea for to her, even though the trend was around before that. But anyways, I digress. So this is gonna be the first drawing, and I'm gonna redraw it every single year, and hopefully we can look back in like 15 years and see that I have hopefully improved as an artist. I have chosen to draw Bill Cipher and the Pines from the show Gravity Falls because one, I absolutely adore the show. I'm in love with the show, and I know it ended. Yes, I'm aware it ended a while back, but I was still obsessed with it back when it was popular. I watched a lot of episodes. I rewatched them recently for Halloween the year before. I was actually Dipper Pines because I have that same messy curly hair. I'm short and I'm fairly pale. So yeah. I love I own the third journal, and I have actually gone through and deciphered the certain ciphers. Some of them are a little bit more complex, but that's I plan on deciphering them all. That's the goal for the summer. Alright, so how I started this drawing is basically I used a pink pencil to do a sketch of the form. I had a little reference in the corner just so I could like keep track and make sure the anatomy is all good, because I struggle with anatomy a lot. So having a reference just allows me to make sure the anatomy is the best it can be. After I have the form in a way I like, I begin sketching in a second layer with a different color the details of the character. So a second sketch layer, sort of to clarify everything. Once I'm done with that, I begin, inking my drawing. I know a lot of people have things to say against inking with solid black, and that is something I plan on working on this new year as an artist, but personally, it's sort of like a comfort. And since this is the video that sort of marks where I'm starting as like a YouTube artist and just building up, I felt like it was more natural and better fit for me to do what I felt more comfortable with at the time. So I enjoy doing straight black line art, but that might change. We'll know next year. So right now I'm just working on the line art, filling in the blacks, and then I realized that like I had planned on putting a lot of black in this painting. Like, Bill's pants are black, his shoes are black, his sleeves are black, his gloves are black, and then Dipper's suit is black. And I just realized that was a terrible idea because that would make all of the limbs start to meld together. So I just ended up changing the color scheme a little to allow for a better understanding and reading of the post. If any of you guys have since I mentioned the new year, if any of you guys checked out my CalArts sketchbook video, you will know that I sent in my applications to CalArts, which is exciting. I don't actually get a response back till April or March, but we're waiting. Of course, CalArts is not the only college I applied to because I am very self-conscious and I don't have the confidence to just apply to one college. So some of the other colleges I applied to are Otis College of Art and Design, Woodbury University, and University of the Visual Arts in New York, I believe. And those are all the colleges I apply. I sent in my portfolio, and just the only thing left is to send in my transcripts for some of them, and then we're done. I will of course make a video when I get my letters of my letters of acceptance or rejection, reacting to them, and probably talk about what I think was the reason why I got rejected or accepted in each university, just so it can be like helpful and like a landmark of where I am as an artist. Talking about as an artist, I decided to share some of my art goals this year. So some of my art goals are to improve at an anatomy, and when I say that, I mean try to do more anatomy studies, because as an artist, I've always loved to draw people. I've always loved to do characters, design characters, and just focus on characters in general. But I've always sort of neglected focusing on the anatomy and just kind of kept avoiding it, expecting to one day magically understand it. So a big goal I have this year is to focus on like doing more studies and genuinely learning to like understand anatomy, so my drawings can become both more dynamic and just more interesting in general. I also plan on practicing on backgrounds, because something I have avoided like the plague ever since I started drawing was backgrounds. I always just sort of have my characters floating in space, because I don't know, I'm scared of putting backgrounds, because whenever I do, I feel like I make them a little bit overcrowded and they just don't fit. So practice. I started a new sketchbook, and once I'm done with it, I will do a sketchbook tour. Um, will it just, of course, that's not yet. I'm still barely halfway through. um, and other art related things, I actually bought a set of gouache recently. I have never, ever messed around with gouache. So I'm probably gonna watch a couple of tutorials, maybe do a little video of like my first painting with gouache, and if you guys are interested, tell me down in the comments below, because I thought it would be a fun, interesting thing to do. Another goal related to art is that I want to experiment with more mediums. I feel most comfortable in doing digital art. I have always sort of felt a little bit more comfortable doing digital art, because I am able to, erase and pick at a painting however long I want. And for me, I don't know, I am a very impatient person, so being able to just right away fix whatever mistake I made makes it 10 times easier. And I feel like I need to practice more in traditional mediums, practice painting more, practice watercolor paintings that require a little bit more patience, because I feel like those painting techniques and the blending in traditional painting could help improve my digital painting. It's not that I want a more realistic art style, it's just that I want to improve my art style. I am so sorry. That's an alarm I have to tell me when to do things. um right now I'm working on the shading. I really didn't know how to go about the shading. Because how I used to do it is that I used to do every single color in a separate layer. But I started just kind of using the ability, like the paint bucket tool option in Procreate, to drop the colors to save myself time. And I just sort of have to figure out how I'm gonna do shading now. We're still in the learning process. So those are the art goals this year. It's just basically to grow as an artist, to get a better understanding of anatomy, do more studies, practice more traditional, and experiment with other mediums, such as gouache, watercolors, acrylics, pastels, things like that. And I hope this was an interesting video. I hope you either liked watching the painting or just listening to me ramble about petty nonsense as I drew away. This design of Human Bill Cipher is based on an artist that has a really, really famous sort of design for him. Like, if you were to search Human Bill Cipher, it's the first design that always shows up. Yeah, here it is. I will put the link to the artist that came up with this design down in the description because, of course, the outfit is not my own making and the person deserves credit. I found the user as Maltelawu, and I found it uploaded Moo. I'm not sure if that's really where the original creator, but I know I have seen this as a very, very popular Bill Cipher design. So I'll do a little bit more research and put their links in the description. I would recommend go checking them out because their design of Bill Cipher is beautiful and really popular. They also have Will Cipher, and if you have never seen their art, it is beautiful and they deserve credit for the amazing piece of art they have created. I hope you guys stick around to the channel and check out some of my future videos because I have a lot of exciting ideas planned for the new year, including a collab with one of my close friends. So that should be really, really fun. Oh, here is a little mistake I did. I started shading with black, because that's sort of a habit I used to have back when I was younger. I used to think that shading with black looked good, which I'm not saying doesn't look good. I just personally don't like how shading with black looks. I feel like it creates a very like muddied atmosphere to the painting. Like it just tones down the colors. Well, thank you for your time, my polar bears. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed this painting. I really hope you guys stick around and subscribe for more videos in the future. Bye!